While we're doing that, let's understand this. Zero tolerance for any misuse and or abuse of authority by our law enforcement officers. Yes, they have to be there as guardians and not warriors. And what's the first step you take in order to make that happen? You make sure that you select a police commissioner who understands cultural competency, emotional intelligence, a leader who's not afraid to make tough decisions even though they're not going to be popular. It starts with that leader who works in conjunction with other departments in the city of Philadelphia, but he or she would be responsible for crafting the plan to reduce crime here in the city of Philadelphia. And although some people, Marion Tasco, said that your daughter, well, she's taking a vacation and she's thing that we do you can't see on social media. Before we walked in, Langston, you want to tell everybody who you just talked to? You know? It's okay. We just talked to President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. We just told them that this is an election the people have chosen, and Lord knows I'm proud, but Philadelphia cannot be successful without an immense amount of support from the White House and our Congress. We need the support. Both of them said that they are prepared and they are ready. We were with our governor. We have our Speaker, Joanna McClinton. Speaker McClinton, can you raise your hand? Somebody just mentioned to me that our appropriations chairman, Jordan Harris, Jordan Harris, can you raise? So I just want you to understand our appropriations, I call him the boss with the hot sauce, Vincent Hughes. Raise your hand, Senator Hughes. State Senator Sharif Street, our Democratic Party chair. It's important for me to acknowledge their presence, because if anybody, and I needed to say this for the record because I think I see some veterans in the room. I'm talking about veterans of politics. If anybody thinks that they're going to use those antiquated, outdated, territorial, tribal warfare strategies to divide and conquer us, it's not just not going to work, but whenever I see it, I need you to know I'm going to call it out and say it out loud. I really am. That doesn't mean it's going to be kumbaya all the time. That means we make tough decisions, but we find a way to sit down at a table and hammer out compromises. Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, are you here? Are you here, Councilmember? I think you should come stand next to me while I'm talking about this part. Councilmember Johnson and I talked with, I talked with 15 members of council. Two, I have not. We're waiting for the results of the election, but we're going to talk with and we're going to work with everybody. But I want to be very clear to affirm to you, Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson and I have talked. I know it makes for a good theater, I will call it, to see a city council and a mayor not get together, not be able to move this city forward by working in a collaborative way. But if it's God's will, we are not going to use that as our strategy. We will not let divide and conquer be the tool that people use to stop us from working together. So it is my hope, and it's so great to see each of you, but it is my hope tonight that by working together and working to put people on a path to self-sufficiency, we remove any explanation that anyone can give about why they can't succeed. We want to make access to home ownership affordable for Philadelphians, right? We don't want people house poor, spending more than 30% of their income on rent. We want all of our children in a 21st century modern school building with the highest academic achievement. If anybody is interested in talking to me about public education and you're trying to pit traditional publics against charters, don't do it. I'm not the person to have that conversation with. We are going to find a way to move educational opportunities for our young people forward. And I'm a certified secondary English teacher by profession, but we're going to do it for all of our children. Finally, the biggest part for me, I talked about year-round public education. Immediately when I said it, the naysayers said, well, what are you going to do? Keep children in classrooms all day long without air and no heat? Access to year-round education is what Senator Hughes was talking about when he called it the summer slide. Do you remember you had those conversations? I'm sorry to tell you today, but not all of the young people in the school district of Philadelphia are in the Hamptons in the summer or at the Vineyard. Maybe you thought they were there, but they are not. But for those who are being raised, particularly in circumstances like mine, particularly when they're being raised by someone other than their biological parent, they can benefit from creative year-round scheduling. They could benefit from going to school in the morning and having it open until 6:30 in the evening. And after the traditional school day finishes, how about they get access to some coding, some financial literacy? How about access to just skill building? I'm getting ready to tell you the big one for me, homework help and tutoring. Have you seen the math today? Right? What about the parents who can't afford to hire a tutor or get homework help? Should those young people have to suffer? Or should we put those opportunities in schools throughout the school district of Philadelphia and say you can have breakfast, lunch, and even dinner while you're there? The homework's going to be done. I want you to think like a teacher. Teaching a lesson plan for the week. And I want you to know the teacher's giving instruction during the day, and then I want you to imagine the teacher knowing that somebody was reinforcing what they just taught during the day in the evening and helping young people get their homework done. That is tangible. That is how you get access to economic opportunity. Safer, cleaner, greener with economic opportunity for all. Quality of life issues, the commercial quarters, the cleaning, sanitation, we're coming. We're coming, sanitation. We are ready. So I want you all to do for me something that we've been doing in every meeting that we've traveled to across the city, particularly after the primary election. And I would tell people, I don't care where you were during the primary election, it's now time for us to unite as one Philly. One Philly. Let me hear you all. Let me hear you say one Philly. One Philly. A city united. A city united. One Philly. One Philly. A city united. A city united. After tonight, somebody you're going to call, they're not going to be excited about where you are. They're going to be what I call the expert AOPs. Have you ever met them? They're the expert articulators of problems. They're going to tell you over and over and over again just how and why all of this intergovernmental collaboration and convening of private sector and faith-based and philanthropic communities, just why it won't work. When they tell you that it won't work. I want you to listen, be patient and listen. But once they're finished, this is what I want you to say. Don't throw shade on my Philly shine. Don't throw shade on my Philly shine. We stand on the shoulders of the great to do they're updated. Figure out what mayor's community council you're going to join. What board or commission are you going to attempt to use your time, talent, and treasure to help move our city forward? Building